Hey there, I'm Jonzu. I am a New Yorker, soon to be a Berliner. I've been doing porn for almost 4 years. I started during COVID. I kind of started honestly like for fun. It was the beginning of the pandemic, and like most people, I was out of work. Before the pandemic, I was mainly a stylist, which I still do to this day. But I was out of work. I had nothing really to do, and I was also working out like crazy. So I figured, oh, I want to document the progress from the gym. So I hit up some photographer friends, and they were, they had a shit ton of free time too. And I was like, let's just, do some stuff for funsies. So we were doing some cool shoots and some fun things, and a lot of like body physique things. And I was like, let me actually start an OnlyFans. Like, why not? And like, no one cares. It's 2020. And try to bank off of it. So I made an OnlyFans and I started with those images, and then very quickly, I want to say within a week of making the OnlyFans, I started doing collabs. My first one was with a person that shall not be named because he is kind of infamous now, but I collabed with him, and that really, boosted my Twitter as soon as I created it. And so I was able to get a shit ton of collabs really early on. So I did that, and then soon after I shot with the amazing Mark Henderson, and then I met Chris at Choice and joined with Choice, and then I started doing studio scenes, and all kind of just like spiraled within a year. I mean, it's amazing. There's so many really, really cool guys. Like, I don't know, for me, I always kind of feel like the outsider looking in, so I see these really hot dudes like online or just see their pictures, I'm like, oh, they're so hot, I'm intimidated, and like, I feel nervous to be in the same room as them, and then you meet them and they're like so sweet and personable, and it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like a really fun frat house in here or something, but like with the fags, it's really fun. So I started off with the name Minotaur. Yeah, that was my name. And then when I had Chris, he was like, hey, like I think it would be a better idea if you had like a more streamlined first and last name and not like a Twitter handle. So I came up with Jordan Jameson. So it's the first name of a male model that I really love, Jordan Barrett. And then Jana Jameson. So that's where Jameson came in. And I kept that for a while, and then it's been 6 or 7 months now that I've been Jonzu. That's been my artist name since honestly 12. Like I came up with it when I was in middle school because I'm obsessed with anime. It's my real last name in Japanese. So I came up with it, and it kind of stuck to the point where like even my mom calls me Jonzu. And a few months ago, I kind of had a realization. I was like, I feel like I'm just always playing a character, and I enjoy playing characters, but I feel like it would be cool to just have one entity for everything. And to be honest, I don't know, Jonzu in my mind just seems kind of iconic. Like you just say that name and that's it. Like if you say Jordan, they're gonna be, oh, which Jordan? There's so many Jordans in porn and whatever artistic medium. So with this, it's like there's no other me. So yeah, that's why I decided to just stick to that. And I have a decent traction on my Instagram, and a lot of people know me as Jonzu. So I figured I could leverage that to get a better following in porn as well. A little of everything. Generic fucking on a bed. There's also like some kink content, some leather stuff, some fisting. There's also like I've been really getting into like making art house stuff. Whether it's DIY or getting other artists to like collaborate and really flesh something out. So I have like a few videos where it's like very cinematic and moody and dramatic, and maybe it's not like the sexiest thing in the world that someone wants to jerk off to, but there's a place for everything, and there's someone that will appreciate the more creative stuff, but there's also the kinky or hot stuff for people just to like jerk off to and move on. So people would be surprised to know, besides doing like the porn and the sex work stuff, I mentioned that I do the styling. So New York Fashion Week is coming up, and gearing up for that, I'm gonna be possibly going to some of the shows and mingling with fashion-y people and seeing the new collections. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm on the shorter side. Some people don't even know my height. Like I don't know. I say I'm anywhere between 5'9" and 6'2", depending on the shoe. But I've done runway here and there. It's not my strong suit, and I prefer doing print and editorial, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, I'll be going to some of the shows. Also doing Berlin Fashion Week, where I actually have been offered to walk 3 of the designers, and I am nervous as fuck. So that is happening. And what else? This really amazing movie that I did recently. It was filmed in Berlin. We had a red carpet premiere at where I'm at, Babylon, the theater, the big iconic Babylon theater. That was in May, and it was really amazing. It was, I think we had 600 people there. It was like a big fucking thing, and I was nervous as fuck, but it was a lot of fun. And then we did a New York screening for the same film in October. And the film just finally released online 2 weeks ago, and now it's going to be available for actual downloads. You can keep it forever this week. And that is Remember I'm Dead by Noel Alejandro. And it is dramatic and spooky and kind of sexy and crazy. I'm in a grave and I'm buried and I'm dead. It's like a lot's happening, but it's really, really cool. What else? And then I have another project that I worked on in Barcelona where I was a statue. I was literally like painted head to toe like a statue, and I was in a cemetery. And then we filmed another portion of it in an art gallery. So that's going to be doing some rounds in some European porn film festivals in the spring, in the summer. So also very, very excited about that. I literally almost died. I arrived to the venue. It was a Kit Kat club. And I was like, at that point, just running off of adrenaline. So fucking tired. Landed the day before. And as soon as I landed, and mind you, there's already like a time difference and jet lag and all the things. Was exhausted, and I decided to like overbook and overwork myself and just go from like shoot to collab to shoot to collab, and like no rest, no food, no nothing, just like turning myself into a fucking machine. So I was doing all these things, and by the time it was time for Hustle Ball for the performance, I was literally just running off of like Red Bulls and vibes. I was just like a fucking zombie. I was a corpse. And we arrived to the club. It was me and 6 other guys that were performing that night in an Uber, and I was on the street side. I opened the door, stepped 1 foot out, and a car just like zoomed right into the door, like bent it the other way, glass shattering everywhere. I was like, fuck. And I'm like, it's not even processing the fact that I literally almost like was smashed to bits. I'm like, oh, you guys okay? Are you good? Is the car good? I'm like standing outside, and like everyone was totally fine, thankfully, but like it didn't process fully that I almost died until I got inside the club. When I'm outside a Kit Kat club, in my big old platform boots and like chaps and a floor-length coat, smoking a cigarette, waiting for the cops to come to like fill out a report. It was fucking insanity. So yeah, it was I don't know if it's a funny story, but definitely a crazy story. Pivoting from that to sex positions, I love eating ass. That is my favorite thing to do, especially when a guy's like sitting in my face. It is golden. Craziest place I've ever had sex. I'm trying to think. This was a couple of months ago, and there was this guy in New York that his whole shtick is having sex in public spaces. So he saw my content and like what I usually do in the imagery, and he was like, "Oh, I want to do something really fucking crazy and wild." So I was like, "Oh, like what if we did like a church? Like, is that a possibility?" And he was like, "That's very much a possibility." So we went to one church in the Lower West Side, like near Wall Street. We were in a Baptist church, and we were trying to get the footage. It wasn't really working. Like there was people just coming in and out. The security guard was kind of trailing us. So like we got like, I don't know, a minute of him like jerking me off in one of the in the pews. But after a while I was like, fuck, this is like too shady. Like I think we're gonna like get arrested. So we left that church and went to a Catholic church nearby. And it was dead empty. Like no one was there. And we ended up fucking in the confessional booth. So you can find me, I say the most fun stuff is on Instagram, and that is at Jonzu, Jonzu. I'm lucky in that I've had my Instagram for 14 years. So there's that. There's X at Jonzu, Jonzu, X Jones, Jones, and then there is Blue Sky, and that is at X Jonzu X. I'm pretty sure. Just type in Jonzu, you'll find me. And that's pretty much it. And then you could Google my name and find a shit plethora of fucking things.